This is our enclave, Wintech, creating a safe space for women to network, learn, support one another, access opportunities, thrive, and succeed.
So you're welcome to today's section. This is the Wintech community, and I'm so glad to have each and every one of us join on today's workshop. Yeah, my name is Wendy, and I'm going to be your moderator for today's workshop. And I'm so glad to have each and every one of us on this call today. You guys already know why we are here. We are here for SQL, right? This is a skill that you can never miss as a tech person. If you say that you're a tech person, most times in organizations, even if when you don't need it, it's always good to have it so that whenever you have the need, you are not going to feel like, hey, I don't know what to do. So it's always good to have things like this. And again, looking at what is happening in workplace today, so many organizations, so many companies are looking for those that have this kind of skills. And it's also good for us to equip ourselves as much as we can. So that is why we say it would be nice to have this kind of a workshop whereby we come in and learn together, try to accelerate in terms of our career and also the skills that we already have, right? I'm not sure how many of us have used the SQL before now. Anybody? If you have, you can use the reaction button, raise your hand. You can also type in the chat, whichever one that works for you. Anybody? Is there anyone here that have used it? Oh, AD said thumbs up. Good one. Any other person? Is it only AD? All right, not to worry. Even if you haven't used it before, there is always a first time of everything. And today is going to be your first time coming to know about it, right? And it's going to be an awesome one, okay? So before we dive into it, I just wanted to more like introduce so that for those that are joining us for the very first time, like I said, this is Wintech community. Is a vibrant community that focuses on women and young girls who want to pivot into tech industry, and as well as those that are currently navigating their career in tech. So what do? We help each other in thriving in our career through mentorship, career building, workshops, so many things, talking about families and how you can be the best version of yourself based on your career as well. So if you are here today, or this is your very first time you're hearing about the name Wintech, you are highly welcome. We are so glad to have you join us today. And again, I know some people will be saying, is it only for women? Unfortunately, yes, Wintech is for women, but that doesn't, we are not trying to separate the men as well. Anytime we have our section and the men want to join, we always welcome them with our full hands open. So you are welcome. If you're a guy here or you're a man here joining us, we are so glad to have you. All right. So today we are going to be diving into the workshop itself. SQL, like I said, is a skill that you can't even say, I don't need it. It's something that is very important that we all have to have at least knowledge about it, how it works, what you can use SQL to do in your workplace and all that, okay? So just before we dive into it, I just wanted to understand, where are you joining us from, okay? If you are in Canada, let us know which province are you joining from. If you are in outside of Canada, we want to know, like we want to understand the demography of those that are in this call today. So please do well to drop in the chat so that we'll get to know you more. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, I can see a lot of them are popping in. Yeah, I see Zainab say Toronto, Ontario. Yes, I see Adetola, Winnipeg, Canada. D is from Saskatoon. Patricia is from Ontario, Canada. Fumi is from Saskatoon. Welcome. Angela is from Hamilton, Ontario. Let's keep them coming. Let's keep them coming, please. I want to know. We want to know, where are you joining us from? I see Yeti says Mississauga, Ontario. Ayo is from, one second. Ayo is from Abuja, Nigeria. Whoa, Ayo, you're welcome. Nice to have you. Yeah, how is it going over there in Abuja? Yeah, we have Kehinde from Ontario, and who again? We have Ayo again from Brampton, Ontario, AD from Vancouver, like tons of them. I'm seeing a lot of them popping in. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we are happy to have you in this call today. So please, if you have anything that will stand as a distraction for you, remember, this is a hands-on. It's not just to talk. It's something that as the instructor is doing, you as well will go ahead and be working on in your own computer. So please, if there is anything that will stand as a distraction for you, I will applaud you to please do not allow any distraction so that you will maximize the opportunity that you have for today. Remember, this is a 2 days workshop, today and tomorrow. And for today, we are going to be spending 2 hours. So please maximize the use of that 2 hours. I want at the end of this workshop, you will beat your chest and say, wow, I'm so happy I joined. That is the primary aim, okay? All right, thank you so much, everyone. So on that note, I'm going to be introducing the able instructor that is going to be taking on this workshop. Please, everybody, join me and welcome Mr. Stanley. And he's going to be the one that will be taking us on today's workshop. Please, you can use the reaction button, whichever way. If you want to unmute yourself and say a welcome to him, that would be highly appreciated. Stanley, you're welcome. We are so happy to have you, and we are looking forward to, tapping from your wealth of knowledge.
Thank
okay?
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the floor is now yours.
All right. Thank you, everyone. So we are going to focus for these 2 days. We are going to focus on understanding SQL. So it's going to be a deep dive. So regardless of whether you know SQL before or not, so we're going to start from the scratch. So for these 2 days, our goal is to ensure that at the end of the second day, you would be able to understand SQL. You are better positioned to be able to, whether in an interview or any place, answer basic questions in regards to SQL. We want to be able to make sure that at the end of the program, basic operations that you normally do with Excel today, you can also basically do those things with SQL. So I'm going to share my screen shortly, and then we are going to gradually dissect into this program. So, but before then, just a quick one. When you have a question, I just want to lay down some basic ground rules so that we don't talk over each other. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. While I'm sharing my screen, while I'm also showing you the actual lecture, if you miss anything or at a point you are confused or you want to raise your hand, all you need to do is just raise your hand, okay? I'm going to be looking at the screen. So if you don't have any questions, you don't need to raise your hand, okay? So I'll be looking at the screen. If you raise your hand, I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask your question, and I'll make sure that I try my best to make sure that everybody in the class follows and understands. So it's more like an interactive session. Feel free. There is no right or wrong questions, okay? So any question you asked is okay. So feel free to ask any question you feel like, and I'll take my time to introduce it. So in a quick recap, I'm going to share my screen. What we are going to do today is to make sure that we do some introduction into SQL, the theory part of it, where I explain what SQL and basic things on what you can do with SQL and the basic meaning of SQL, right? Then we're going to move into installation. So that's going to take us maybe 30 to 1 hour. We are not going to waste so much time there. Everybody's going to install in the SQL, install the clients that we are going to use to connect to the SQL, to the database. And after that, we are going to perform some basic operations today, if time permits us. Then tomorrow when we come back, we are going to focus fully on writing queries. So we're also going to probably be sharing a Word document on how to install this document, install the client as well, just in case somebody that is not here comes in or any other person that is not fully clear on how to install it. You can also reference that document, okay? So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get right onto it. Is there any question so far? Okay. All right. Can you guys confirm you can see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Yes, your screen is showing perfectly.
All right. So we are going to, this is going to be the session 1. Here we are going to introduce SQL like you see here. Try to understand the different types of databases. Explain the concept of, see, don't worry about the terms. I will explain everything. Explain the concept of what relational database management system is. Yeah, one more thing, please. If you're not talking, please try and mute so that every other person can hear, okay? Now, we're going to do a deep dive into all this. Then the next session tomorrow, we are going to focus on some of the basic functions that we are going to walk through in SQL. We'll finish session 2 and session 3 tomorrow, but we'll introduce session 1 today and try and cover at least where we can on section 1. Then tomorrow we'll finish everything. Okay, so let's get right into it. So by SQL simply means structured query language. That's the English definition. So to a layman, you are going to ask, what exactly is SQL and why do I need to learn it? Right? So I want to believe that everybody here has at some point used Excel, right? So whether we are using it for our own personal use or for whatever reason, right? I don't want to believe that there's nobody here that has not used Excel. So remember, Excel is just, you have, sorry about that. You have your data. Now inside that data, you have a set of columns and rows, right? Now you can insert a whole lot of data into different sheets. But if you look truly, there's a limitation. Let me give you some insights of limitations with this Excel. Now, imagine you have billions of data. Imagine you have billions of data. Will you be able to handle it with your Excel? That's one. Now, imagine that you are preparing something like Excel is, in a way, it's called a flat database, right? Now, imagine if you want to write an application. You know how the basic way that maybe the way you go to MTN now and you want to register your line or you go to Facebook to log in, all those things are saved somewhere. So you cannot be able to interact with the database. You cannot be able to interact with the application using Excel. So you interact with the database. Now, what is SQL? SQL is basically a language. The same way you have Excel and you use your different function in Excel, VLOOKUP, whatever, all those things. SQL is this language that the database understands. It is what we use to talk to the database. You must have heard something about different programming languages. So SQL is one type of programming language that is focused only about talking to the database. By talking to the database, I mean you're able to connect to the database, which I explained is more like your Excel with various data, which I'll still explain further. Now, with this language, you're able to retrieve data from that database, see the data yourself. Now do all those, everything you are doing in Excel today, you can do it in SQL. So those calculations you are doing, you minus, you plus, you get this data, you use it to combine here, all those things, you can also do it in the database through the language called SQL. That is in a nutshell what SQL means. Now, what is a database is what next you're going to ask me. Right? So because I've mentioned a database, what exactly is this database, right? So a database, to explain in a layman way, is just an organized collection of data. Now you have a lot of data that's based on, let's say you have an application or you have, let's look at it this way, you have a school or you have a business, a small business or a school or whatever the case is. Now you want to have a structure in this, your business. Let's imagine you want to employ people, right? You have employees. Now, these your employees. Now, your business is growing. These your employees are going to have departments that they belong to, right? Some of them will be, let's say, in the IT department. Some of them might be in the sales department. Some of them might be in the accounts department. These are different departments that these employees have. Now, these your employees might also be doing different functions based on their job title. Some of them might be in sales, some of them might be in different sections, right? The data is growing now. Now, you know, some of them, when you are hired, then you would have logged a lot of information. For example, you'd have collected this person, maybe you've given this person a unique identifier, like a number. So, this is your staff number. Now, you give this person the department it belongs to, you know the full name, you know where this person is coming from, which country or which region in the place various sets of data that you are gathering. Now, what the database helps us is to store this data, right? Just the same way that your Excel used to put all those things and log it. But this database, you're able to input this data. Tomorrow, we're also going to show you how to just upload the data into the database. It's a straightforward thing, even from your Excel. Now, those data have structure now because it's in the database. It has structure. One, you're able to arrange it. So you have what we call tables, which I'm still going to get into. Now, database, like I explained, is a collection of this data. Now you have your organization and these are your structure, right? Now, the first structure you might have might be the employee. So in the employee is just a table inside this database, just an object in the database where you store the information about the employee. It might just be the first name, last name. It might just be their job title, just different things. The day you hired them, those things. That is called employee table, right? Where you store it. Now you might go ahead and have a department table where you store the type of departments you have in your organization. Maybe you have 5 departments. You store all of them. Now, you need to be able to link employees to know which employee belongs to which department. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting, right? So at this point, you have what we call a mapper, which I'm also going to show you, where you're able to relate these databases, the data department that they belong to the employees. Go forward, you have maybe the another table that talks about different things, maybe the regions where they're hired from, country, all those things. In a nutshell, a database is simply a collection of data. Nutshell. Now, we are going to ask, what are the various types of databases that we have? In general, we have 2. In general. Now, we have what we call the RDBMS and the NoSQL. So we also have more of the five system databases. You can classify them within also the NoSQL in a way. So the RDBMS is what we are going to focus on because those are the ones that houses the transactions, right? So what is RDBMS? It simply means Relational Database Management System. So this is where you have, you must have heard something about the MySQL, you must have had Oracle, Postgres, all those words you hear, right? They are all called relational databases. Why are they relational? Just like I mentioned earlier, they're relational because the data in these places are structured. Keywords, structured, right? They are structured in the sense that you can relate to each table, each entities have a relationship, right? So basically, you don't imagine if you don't have this relationship, your data will not make, it's not like it's not going to work, but it wouldn't make sense. Imagine you just keep logging and logging. Think of an organization that is too big. Think of Facebook with different departments, different employees, different people that are that they are onboarding and all that, and they're logging it in just one table. It wouldn't just make sense, right? Now, that is why we introduce the concept of structure comes in, and you have the RDBMS, right? And you're able to relate based on your hierarchy or whatever you architect your database to be like, you are able to now relate to them based on these relationships, right? Now, what is NoSQL database? Just like the word says, it doesn't use an SQL, it uses what we call the JSON, and it's more of a different bug. We're not going to be looking into that, but mainly is more of for people that are collecting different types of a particular type of data that doesn't need structure, you can also use that type of database, but it doesn't use SQL as a language. It uses a different language called the JSON, but it's just a type of database. That's why we are mentioning it here. Now, the flat file, something like the Excel that you know today, the CSV, all those things, is also classified as a database, right? And you can insert them into the RDBMS, and you can also map your relationships to it. So all this together is what the RDBMS is made of, right? Now, these are in pictorial representation of the RDBMS. This is just basically what I've been talking about. Now, just to also mention, there's the concept of warehouse. Why I'm taking my time to explain this is so that when you get to an interview or you are hearing about this, it will not be like you've never heard about it before. Now, we have a concept of what we call the data warehouse, right? It's simple. It's just basically where, just like the name says, a warehouse, where we store a collection of data that we have denormalized. I will explain that later, but now I'll take my time to explain that, right? So basically, we push those data to a warehouse where it is faster to read them for operations people, and it does not affect the transactions that are happening currently in our main database. Go ahead, okay?
Thank you. Anu for short. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Can we map NoSQL into the SQL database management system? Because you said we can map flat files. Can we also map the SQL, NoSQL, the JSON?
Yes, you can, but that is a law. There will be a reason for that. For example, imagine I don't want you to go too far because you will not be needing this kind of. I just want you to have this information, right? Imagine a situation where a company was running a MongoDB or running a NoSQL database for long, and for some reason they want to transfer this data to an SQL database. So which is RDBMS, right? So you need someone like a database engineer, a database administrator to do that. So the person will be able to map those data, be able to convert it using some different technologies, and be able to move those data. But that is outside the scope of what we are learning. So what we are learning is basics of SQL, okay? So, but to answer your question, yes, you can, but it's not a straightforward ask like importing an Excel into the SQL database. Because the databases are different entirely in terms of the NoSQL and SQL, no, it wouldn't be something you do easily. It's something you do by a professional that has the mappings and all that, okay? I hope that answers your question. So I've also explained the data warehouse. So you hear concept like Snowflake. You hear maybe you would have had some concept like Redshift. All these things are warehouse. S3, these are warehouse. You can just where you store your data. A cold data is not hot again. So by hot, I mean transaction are coming in. You have an application. You think of anything, Facebook, whatever company you can think of. You are paying in the bank. Those transactions are hot. They go first into a database, which is mostly for banks. They use transactional database, which is RDBMS. So they go into the RDBMS. They can have a different things and move it into the warehouse where it is cold, just so that people that in the company that want to report and all that will use that. That is just what a warehouse is. Okay, Chigozie, go ahead.
Will I compare a warehouse to a cloud system where information is stored and retrieved as and when necessary?
No, I'm coming to cloud. I'm coming there. Okay. So it's not no.
Okay, it's not the same thing.
I will explain. Okay. So, but follow me, understand where we are. This is warehouse. I've explained is just a type of storage, right? And I've explained the different databases we have, which is RDBMS and non-RDBMS. This is clear to now. Now we have you to go further to where you are going already. So I don't think I have it on my slide. So I'll quickly explain it. So we have what the concept of cloud. What is a cloud? And what is on-prem? On-premise, that's on-prem. Then we have cloud. These are just simply put, just like their name means, it's just where the data is hosted. It has nothing to do with a type of database. No, it's just where the data is hosted. Just like your computer that you're using to communicate with me right now, right? Your computer is on your local network. What do I mean by local network? Is whatever you are, I cannot from here see what you are doing in your computer, right? So it's because it is local to you. You are not exposing it to the cloud. That is local. So in database concepts, an on-prem database, an on-prem structure is basically where this is the ones that are used by mostly banks, some of them. In fact, the ones that are very heavy banks, they don't expose their data on the cloud. So mostly you have all these big organizations like maybe NIMC and all these ones. They don't expose their data on the cloud. In fact, most big sensitive organizations don't. So they use what we call on-prem database, on-prem hosting structure, not database, right? So this is basically that everything is stored in what we call a data center. So it's good you have this information. A data center is basically a collection of storages, right? So you've heard of data center before. So maybe in Lagos, I know MTN has one in Lagos and they have one, I think they have two in Lagos, right? So basically it's a house where it is well protected and all you have there is different storages and this everything is happening there, just collection of data and everything that is happening in MTN, whatever, they're all going into that data warehouse. Okay, now what is cloud? Cloud is the same example of the way you're able to access internet online and everything on the cloud. So you have this your computer. Imagine this your computer now that you are hosting it online. What does that mean? In a layman terms, very straightforward. It simply means that Amazon, for example, is just one of the cloud. Everybody will buy things from Amazon. You have Azure, things like that. It simply means that this company, they have the money, they can be able to afford to host lots of data on their own. So this your Windows, for example, you're using Windows or you're using Mac or you're using any type of laptop. I'm explaining it going to database. They're able to host this your computer online. So you purchase, you give them money, for example, they give you a subscription and you pay to purchase a laptop online. That is what cloud is. So let's say you want to purchase a Windows, it's called an instance, EC2. We don't want to go too far. So by just explaining so you understand these terms. So you go and purchase a computer now and pay them monthly. Now you've purchased, say, you want to Windows for computer, right? The same exact thing you're using on your local now. Now you purchase it online and you pay them monthly for it. Now you log into that and you've paid and you see exactly what you're seeing in your computer now. It's just be your Windows. That is Windows. That is your cloud, right? So in database terms, so the same way we've installed, we are not going to installation of database. We don't have that time. The same way databases are installed manually. So that is how you can also install a database on the cloud. So depending on the type of database that you want, right? So the same way we have this database that I've been talking about, is a tool, like it's just, it's a package, the same way let's relate it to the same way you install Excel, right? Is how that package comes. So you can also install the flavor. You have iPhone, you have different things. So these are different companies, right? It's just the same thing, but just different brand names. You have Postgres, MySQL, all these are brand names, right? You have iPhone and different types of phone. Now you install the company own you want into your laptop. So imagine we are dealing with, for this class, we'll use MySQL. So you install this MySQL. We are not doing that. I've already installed it somewhere on a cloud, and I'm going to give you guys access to it for this 2 days period, right? So that is what we are doing. But how to install a database shouldn't be under, because anywhere you're going to, the organization would have had a running database. Nobody is expecting you to install a database in a new organization, right? Nobody is even expecting you to, it's just for you to know some of these things. They're going to even give you an access to just their warehouse or just a basic data or what we call their DR replica. That's what you are going to have access to. Basically, the clone of the database, and then you can play around with that place, right? So going back to what I'm saying, a cloud is a hosting place where these databases here, you can install them in a computer that is in a cloud, right? You've purchased. Now you go and install it, whether it's Mac, whether it is Windows. You buy that computer from Amazon or from Azure, then you install it, download it, just the same way you're doing it on a laptop. Download it, install it. Now, the difference now is that on the cloud, you can give anybody you want access. So a lot of people can have access to your database. The same way I'm going to give people on this call access to the one I have installed on the cloud just for this session, right? So, but if I had it on my local network, that's on my own database, on my own laptop, without doing it on the cloud, I will not be able to give you access because it is on my laptop and my laptop is not on the cloud. I hope this makes sense.
Right on. They are answering you. Yes. Thumbs up is also on
I wasn't looking at the chat. Okay.
Screen.
So, Chico, is this clear at this point? The understanding of the cloud and on-premise?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
good,
you.
good. So, in a nutshell, it's just an environment you host these databases, okay? Now, let's move forward to the bigger picture. What is SQL? We've talked about that. Now, we are going to talk about the real concepts in SQL. Now, think about it this way. In your Excel, you have different ways you do different things. For example, you're able to, I'm just trying to make it from known to unknown for everybody to follow me, right? Now you're able to do a VLOOKUP. You're able to use maybe control find. You're able to sort by something, order by something, do different things in Excel, right? These are things we do all day and do many other things in Excel. So those things you are doing have a way they happen in SQL language, right? So we have everything you are going to do in SQL is classified into 4. So you have what we call the data control language. These are just past different types of SQL. We have the data definition language. We have the data manipulation language, and we have the transaction control language, right? These are the 4 broad areas with SQL, right? You might, I think, newer models, you might have something different, other things, but these are the known basic 4 that we know, right? Now, the data control language simply means they're all SQL. It's not a new language. It's just the different aspects of it. Now, imagine somebody comes into an organization. Now, when this person comes into this organization as a staff, let's say this person is a data analyst, or this person is a database person, whatever. Now, the database administrator or the data engineer or the person that handles the database, right, would want to give, let's say you want to give this person access to some basic things that the person will see. You don't want you to see everything. You want you to see some basic things or have some basic access, right? Now, the function to do that is what we call data control language. So we have things, when you see things like grant, revoke, those things are data control languages. It's still written with SQL, but it makes use of these forms of command. Now, data definition language is mainly for the database administrator and the data engineers, right? Mostly database administrator. Now, when they're building the database, it's not for you, but it's not for us here. We are just for our own knowledge too. When they're building the database, they use these terminologies to create, like yesterday when I was building some of the data I'm going to show this class, I had to use some of those commands to create some tables and insert data into those tables. So those things I'm doing are done with a language called data definition language. Now, in an interview question, the person is going to ask you, what is the difference, which is majorly what they ask, what is the difference between a data manipulation language and a data definition language? And I will explain that in a simple way, because when you understand it, even if you don't say it like I say it, but you have the understanding, you can easily explain it. It's very simple. Now, a data definition language, in a plain or layman understanding, is anything or any command that is executed on the database that changes the form of the structure of the database, the entity itself, the structure of the database. Imagine you build a house. This is the best scenario. You build a house now, and this house initially have 5 rooms, right? Now you want to remove one of the rooms to make it just have big space and have 4 rooms now, right? That action alters the integrity of that house. You've removed a structure of the house. That is data definition language in simple terms. So this is why they don't give you that access, because you can use it to remove everything in the database. You can use it to drop the whole thing and everybody's going home. You understand? So you have to know what you're doing to have DDL access, right? So data definition language simply means anything that you do that changes structure, not the structure of the data, please. The structure of the database. Data and database is different. Entirely different. Database is like the house. Data is just the raw fact that everybody knows what data is, information that you're putting in. Database is the structure, the house. Now, anything you do to that structure, not the data itself, the structure of the data, the structure of the database, anything you do that changes it from one form to another. For example, you have a table and you go and create a new table you've added. That's a structure change. You have this table and you want to increase the length of this table, the length of the column of this table is a structure change. All those things, if you can see how the commands are, you can see how they look like. Create, alter, drop. These are heavy commands that you cannot, if once you execute it, you've executed it. For you to go back, you have to do some major work to either to restore backup or anything. So the access is limited to database engineers, right? And database administrators. Now, the one we are going to have, and the ones I'm going to give you guys access to, is just one part of the DML access, which is called the select. And this is the one the data analysts need. This is the one that every other person needs just to access data, just to see, to view. You cannot use it to alter the data, right? Now, DML does not mean that you cannot alter data. Generally, DML language simply means by the word data manipulation. So you can use this language to manipulate how the data looks like. What do I mean? Without changing the integrity of the database. So let's say you have your staff. Let's go back to that our database employee, and that we store the name of our staff. Let's say Mr. John Doe changed his name or got married and his new name is now whatever, and you need to change this guy's name. You use DML to do it. You are not changing the integrity of the database. You are just changing the data. So that is data manipulation. So you use a command called either an update or whatever. So they are all within data manipulation language, right? Now, to see the records that maybe the way you view, you want to just see what is in this table, you use a select. So you just to call up something to see, view, read only, select. Data manipulation language. So what is data manipulation language? Like the way I explained. So everything you do that I can use to see, manipulate data, not database. Data is data manipulation language. So I've explained this too, and I hope everybody here understands it. It's very important because you keep hearing it. Now, transaction control language. This is also used more from the database administrator perspective or the application perspective. But to explain it, in simple terms, it means, for example, let's think of our bank applications. Everybody knows that today you do a transaction, you have a debit or credit, right? These are the two things you can do in your bank application and other things, right? So you debit and you credit. Now, what is happening in the back end, right? It's simple, very simple thing. So within that database space, so the logic and the whole things that they're building within that your application. So it makes sure that when you start a transaction, it has to commit. You commit that transaction before another transaction takes place. That way, you don't have a situation where somebody is trying to deduct at the same time trying to credit and you have a clash. So that's the whole essence of the whole database, to make sure that those kind of things don't happen. So you can read more on ANSI principle of database. I don't want to go into too much details. So that's more like ACID principles of database. That's more, you will see it explained in detail. So where every transaction is unique and has its own durability. So what this transaction control does for us is simple. They use it to be able to close a transaction, know that I've been able to debit this account and I have closed it. So that is, you commit that transaction, right? Then you want to begin another transaction. It has a begin transaction command or start transaction command. Maybe, for example, within that transaction block, maybe for some reason you need to cancel, there's a rollback mechanism. All those things are from the application logic, right? So just a transaction control language, and is a type of language that banks and different database, whatever we need to do, handles within that operation. So, but for the purpose of this class, And for the remainder of this class and the next tomorrow, we are going to focus mainly on select, which is what we need. Because this is a very, very, very powerful language. The select, you can use it to see any database, anything in the database. That is the only way you see things in the database, with a select. Now you might come across in the future where you see an SQL starting with what we call common table expression. I'm not going too far. Common table expression. You might see something like with expression, right? Why I'm bringing it up is that so big, you're not going to say, instructor told us it's only select. Why am I seeing with starting an SQL language? It's the same thing. That same with blah, blah, blah. There's just another way of rewriting it using without going too far, just a way of rewriting a kind of SQL that has to do with different tables or whatever. That same thing can be written using select. Some people prefer using common table expression. So you can also use with to start an SQL. But generally, 99% of the time that you're going to see an SQL, it will always start with a select. Always. So I want you to always know that this is what we are going to be dealing with the remainder of the class. Okay, Chigozie.
So my understanding is that the two main languages are the DML and DDL. All the other two are what do you call it? They come under those two major languages.
If we want to classify, I'm not the one classifying, but if you want to really classify, right, I would say the main major language is DML, right? Because that's the one everybody uses on a day-to-day basis, right? Now, DDL is used once in a blue moon because you use it only when you want to drop a table, when you really want to change something in the structure, right? You don't go and start rebuilding your house all the time. So use it once in a blue moon. Now, data control language, like you said, yes, is once in a while when somebody comes into the organization, you want to get personal access, you want to revoke access, yeah. Then the transaction control, like you have explained, is used within the application almost all the time.
So there are subsets of those two main languages.
They are different. You can call them subsets, but all of them come under the umbrella of SQL, depending on how you want to classify it. Nobody's going to ask you which one is the first classification or not. No, just understand what they mean. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You.
So I'm gonna go down and try to explain everything I've tried to explain to you. These are just in a nutshell, everything that we've talked about. Okay. Now I'm going to, before we move into this, we are going to do what we call installing our tool for today. So now I've explained database. You understand what is a database, and you understand it's just the same way you install Excel. We are not doing that today. What we are doing today is when you have that database inside, you cannot manually go and start talking to your database. You cannot just go and start your database and start interacting with it. No. You have to use another tool to talk to database. Do you understand? So imagine you have databases that are hosted different places, right? Now, for you to talk to that database or to your warehouse or to different things, you have to use a tool to talk to it. A client, an IDE, right? IDE, we hear the term IDE or a lot in tech. So it's more like what tools that help you make programming easy. So you have things like Visual Studio, VStudio. You have things like Azure Data Studio. You have things like dbeaver. You have things like MySQL, different IDE. All those things are things that you use to connect to a database. Now, from my wealth of experience, I can tell you at least I've been in this industry close to 15 years. The one tool that you can never go wrong, I'm not saying that the other tools are bad. I've used a lot, but the one tool I've learned to have used successfully because it helps me connect to any type of database and any type of warehouse, at least within this period of time, is dbeaver. So I'm going to share another screen, and then you guys are going to follow what is on that screen. Basically, I want everybody to just follow this guide as we are talking and do what is in this guide. So I'm going to copy this and paste it on the charts. so that you can just click, right? You just click and go once. This is the first step. Please, I want everybody to be doing this right now, okay? So even if we don't end up doing more select today, but I need everybody to have this too so that we don't come back here tomorrow. I am not coming back to do installation of 2 tomorrow. We are focusing tomorrow on the actual work item. So please hit this. And just one more thing, if you are not able to do this, there is no way you follow the class. It's just as clear as that. Because you cannot go to class and you don't have a pen. You cannot write. It's just like that. So you need whatever I'm showing you now. It's very important that you have it. Okay, so whether you're using Mac, whether you're using Windows, it's there. I'm going to explain. Okay.
Well, Stanley.
Okay.
So when you click on the link, am I expected to see the Beaver Community 24.35?
It mustn't be 24. This
Okay.
screenshot was taken
But
quite.
what I have is 25.1.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Just make sure you are that. Don't go to Pro. That one you need to pay. What you're downloading is this community, right? The one here. So maybe I can just click.
And then go to download, right?
So yeah, when you go to just hit that link, it will take you to the downloads of this place, right? Now you will see the Windows, you see Mac. I hope everybody's seeing my arrow.
Yes.
You see these two things. I don't think anybody's using Linux here, so it's either Windows or Mac. So if you are using Mac, if your Mac was from back as at 2018, 2019 and older, not forward, I think what you will need is Intel. But if your Mac starts from 2021 upwards, because I think they stopped producing Intel from 2019, so you need to install DMG. So you know what you are using, but I suspect most people will be using Intel. So Intel is the most common one, so you might want to go ahead and install Intel. But if you know for sure that your Mac is a very new Mac in terms of the production time, and your Mac is recent, 2023, 2024, I suspect it's going to be an ARM, what's it called? A recent Mac. So you have to use the second one, which is this, the first one, which is Silicon Apple. For older ones, you use Intel. So for me, I'm using Intel for my Mac. Now for Windows, you don't need to download the zip one, no point. Just download the installer, the first one.
Okay, it's not from Microsoft Store, right?
No, from this link you are hitting. You're not
Yeah. But what I'm seeing Windows zip, chocolatey, and
no, don't download zip. Download Windows installer.
So instead of the second one, download the first one, the one that says Windows in bracket installer. When you hover your cursor there, click on it
in bracket installer. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Why? Because some of you may not have a WinZip to unzip the file. It's an unnecessary work. You understand? So just download the installer that has ESC, so you can just click and install it. Right now, to make this easy, I want somebody to volunteer to share their screen because I already have it installed. I want to guide someone so that while the person is doing it, every other person will not need to start asking me questions again. You just watch one of our colleagues here do it. You understand? And you see how it's done. Please,
so who wants to volunteer? Okay, Patricia says she wants to.
Okay, Patricia, go ahead and share your screen.
1 second. Let me give her access to share. Yeah, go ahead, Patricia.
This is the SQL. I don't know if you can.
Oh, you've already finished installing.
We need someone that have not installed so that
we need someone that have not installed.
And educate others. Yeah, I know. She's very fast.
I've gone far. I'm at the stage where I'm waiting to be told which ones.
So too far.
Okay, let me join back. Let me join back with my laptop so I can share my screen.
You can give me right to share.
Can you allow me to share, Wendy?
Okay. 1 second. I think the very first person I heard her voice is Anu. Anu, right? You've not installed.
Yes, please.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask, is it browser specific, or you can use any browser?
You can use any browser.
Okay. So
So Patricia, I'm going to stop you from sharing so that Anu can share. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.
Anu, go ahead.
Not sure. Okay, here I am. Is using my.
Okay, so what are you using? Is it Windows or Mac?
No, Windows.
Okay. All right, go ahead and install the first Windows installer.
This one, I think I
Have you downloaded it
already? Yes.
Okay, so
Let me see
let's
my
go to where you downloaded it. Cool. Yeah,
right.
double click. Okay. Yeah, just follow the prompts. That's all. Just next. Yeah, agree. Next. Just be keeping
right? Or for all
next, yeah.
users. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless do you share your computer with other people? No, don't worry, just continue. It's just for you.
This is fine.
No, just continue. Don't click any other thing. Just next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Destination. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Install.
And install.
Yeah. So
allow
it to just finish.
I hope every other person is following, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, great.
So is it almost all organizations that uses this dbeaver?
Good question. Very good question. Now, from what I know, right?
Okay.
This is just like I explained, this is an ID. It doesn't mean that is a database. Remember the difference. Is an ID. It's just a way to connect to a database. It doesn't mean that this is Postgres. It doesn't mean that this is MySQL. Or no, those ones are databases, right? Now, ideally, what will happen in an organization, depending on your skill set, right? And the role you are coming in for. Imagine if you are coming in for a database administrator, for example, I'm just using this, I'll still come down to different roles. Nobody's going to ask you, because they expect you are skilled. Nobody's going to ask you, use dbeaver, use this one, use that one. What they're going to give you is, as someone that is skilled, they're just going to give you the connection to the database. It is up to you to choose the IDE you want. You can choose Workbench. You can use Azure Data Studio. You can use whatever you like. There's an IDE. There are tons of them that you can use. But I'm not saying this is the one I use, right?
Did you say IDE?
IDE so it simply means IDE. This is what this thing you're installing is IDE is basically something that helps make your life better in technology. So any tool that is just a tool, right?
Okay, so where is this installed? Is it going to be on my dashboard?
It's going to be on your laptop.
And before we move ahead, Stan, I think there's someone that is having an error message, right?
Yeah, I'll come back to the person to share.
Okay.
I'm just trying to answer the question that was put in. So basically, in a nutshell, it's left for you now. But if your role, let's say you come in as a data analyst, or maybe you come in as just depending on what you come in as, or maybe support person or whatever.
Okay.
And you may not have those large skill sets. The expectation will just be that you will use what the organization is already using. So if you come in, and you may not even need to use an ID. They may have their own, the organization might have their own different way of giving you access. They might have maybe their own built-in solution.
Yeah.
They might also have a view where you don't even need to interact directly with the database. Do you get? Or if you are using Python, if you are using not Python, if you are using Power BI, or maybe you are using you're using Tableau, maybe you are a data analyst, right? Tableau has its own mechanism of where you also connect to the database. I just want you to understand that this is just tools. All those things, Tableau, Power BI, all those things are IDE. They are not database. They connect to a database to visualize or to show you data. I just need you to understand the ground, how all these things work, right? Now, based on what you are doing, depends on what tool to use. If you are visualizing data, obviously you'll be using Python. Sorry, why do I keep calling Python?
Power BI
or Tableau. Python, of course, you can use it to visualize data, but that's an entirely different language. It's not SQL. So those ones with Power BI and with Tableau, you can also write SQL and plot your graphs if you want. You can also drag and drop whatever you want. I think you have that in a separate class. Now for SQL, if you really want to write directly to the database, connect to it and talk to it, the best tools to use is either you use a dbeaver or use an Azure Data Studio. Okay, these are the tools commonly used by many organizations. For Postgres, some people use what we call the pgadmin. So these are just names. You don't need to start cramming them. For Postgres, they use what we call the pgadmin, where you can also use to interact with it. It doesn't mean that you cannot use this one for Postgres. So each company, for example, Oracle, when they build solutions, okay, I'm trying not to go too far, but
You
also
are.
follow, right?
My head.
Now, the
Me,
way
I'm
you
following
I
have
think you're going too
Sorry,
far.
it's my friend, so I'm following you. But maybe you can cut it short.
exactly. So the way you have your phones, right? You have your phones. You have iPhone. You have different brand of phone.
Android.
That's
Yeah,
why you have
Android.
that's how you have different brand of databases. And those brand of phones have their custom application. The same way you have for Android phone, you have what we call Play Store. For Apple, you have iCloud and all those Apple Store, right? That is the same way that this is. So for let's say you have Postgres, they're going to have their own custom tool. Now, this dbeaver is just a general tool where you can also use like a tool that connects to all of them.
Okay.
Okay, let's go with Angela. Angela is raising the hand. So Angela, please go
Okay,
ahead.
so for a business analyst, what part of SQL?
Wait, Angela, can you raise your voice? I'm struggling to hear.
Your voice is faint, Angela.
For a business analyst,
Mm-hmm.
like what part of SQL do you think a business analyst would need?
Select. That's all you need.
Okay, select. Okay.
And that's what we're using. That's
Okay.
all you need. You don't need any other thing.
Okay. So what would I need it for? To analyze data,
Yes,
trends, and stuff like that, right?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you will see it play out.
Just the select. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Let's move back to installation. So somebody was struggling to install earlier. Okay, let me know you're struggling. Somebody was having challenge installing.
Yeah,
Can I
yeah,
see?
that is
Yeah.
Ayo.
Ayo, can you share?
Can I
if you don't
stop
mind?
sharing, right?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Remember, everybody in this class must have this tool installed. Then we move
Ayo,
to
are you
the session
here?
of
Can
connection.
you unmute yourself and say something?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, awesome. Is that the system you want to share?
Yes.
Okay, you can go ahead and share.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to believe you've already installed, Abby. Please tell me you did not go to Pro.
No, I didn't go to Pro. So
Are you
I
using
haven't been
Windows
able
or
to
Mac?
install. I'm using Windows. I haven't been able to install.
Have you downloaded?
I haven't been able to download.
Your problem is network problem now. If you have
But
not been
have
able
you
to
clicked
download.
on Window Installer to download?
Yes.
I can see it rotating.
Yeah.
Do you normally download things before?
Yes.
Why is it not downloading? It means you don't have maybe enough network or something, but you're able to talk to us.
Yes.
Ayo, you know another thing I would suggest? Can you copy the link and use another browser?
Yeah, can you try that?
All right.
So you've not even gotten to installation, so you're not saying you've not even downloaded. So your problem is more like downloading, not even installation. Okay. Any other person having any issue downloading or installing? Sandra, please share your screen. Okay, so here, just click next. That's all. Just keep clicking next.
Hold on, please. Is it not supposed to be the Beaver community?
Okay, I'm not clicking
Wait,
anything
yeah,
here.
it's community now. She's on community.
No, she's including Java.
No. She didn't include it. It was just there before. Did you on your own check
I
Java?
didn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Just click
next that she will do until you install.
Yeah, so Java is basically an application every two. I don't want to go far again. So every two in your laptop uses Java. If you are using Microsoft, right? Every two must have a component of Java in it.
I think there's nothing else.
There's nothing else. Is there another person? Because the next thing we are moving is connection. Is there any other person? I need everybody to have been able to at least download and install. Is there any other person still having any challenge?
Then I see another person is asking, select, okay, maybe it's Sandra.
Select component.
She says select component to install it. What do you think? Tick.
Okay.
I don't think any other person has any issue.
That has been resolved. Thank you.
All right. So I want to believe everybody here is fine apart from Ayo. So Ayo is taking some time to fix the connection issue, I want to believe, right? Okay. So I will need someone else to share because the next thing we are moving to is connection. Quickly show the screenshot, then I will allow someone to now walk through. So what we've done so far, we've downloaded, we've installed this, right? The next thing we did is step one. Now we did step 2, which is installing, which we've done. The next step we want to do now is to select the type of database that we want. I'm going to show you how to get this. Now, when you select this, the next step will be to put in these credentials here. So I'm going to copy this and paste it on the chat box so that the person that will be sharing will be using it to connect.
Sorry, I'm lost there.
Volunteer.
After installing, I didn't see those
No, that's why I said I will show you. Don't worry. I know you will.
Okay.
I'll show you. So if maybe since you're talking, you can just be the one to share your screen so we can work on it.
No, I'm using my phone. I'm using my laptop to practice.
Okay. Can someone else that's
I know you want to share.
I prefer I can do this part myself, but I always prefer this
I think I know volunteer to share.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I noticed that it syncs in faster when one of the is doing it.
Okay, so this is the DB. I have this. Did I click on yes?
You can click no. You can click no. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
now,
right.
This is the page everybody will be seeing, right? Now, the next set is just basically to connect to a database.
Okay.
And if you look at the top below file, that thing that looks like switch.
Okay.
That's where you connect. So click it.
Arrow down or just click on it.
Just click it. Thank you. When you click it, this will pop up. Now, this tool is so awesome that it has you can anything you can think of, at least from my own knowledge, it has access to. It has the what they call the driver or the component to integrate to any type of tool, whether it is Redshift, whether it is whatever you can think of is in this place. That's why I like this tool. That's just a simple reason. So for the purpose of this class, what we are using is a database called the MySQL database. So
sorry,
based on
Stanley,
you already
Stanley,
know.
sorry.
People are raising their hands.
Stanley, sorry. Let me take you back a little bit because
Okay.
I feel like some people might be lost there. Are you able to show maybe how you bring back what you installed, right?
Okay.
Yeah, because
I'm kind of find what
close
already a
everything.
little
Close
bit
everything.
ahead.
Okay,
Close
so what
everything.
I just did for me was that I came to this search button, your window button, and I
Exactly.
searched
You
for
see.
DB Viva.
Yeah.
You can actually do that, or you can go to your desktop. It's there.
Do you know what? Close everything. Let's just do
Okay.
it in their front.
Okay, so
That's a good thing. No, close the no. Go back to your application. Yeah.
this
Close
one
it.
and close it.
Yeah, okay, close.
Are
Yes.
you sure?
Yes, close. So let's say this is your normal laptop. Now you want to bring up that thing you downloaded. So do the same thing again.
Okay, so what I did was come to the start button.
Type
Then
DB.
yes, and I typed the DB. It brought it out, the app that has been installed. So then I clicked on it.
Exactly. That's what I expected. It's more like opening the same way you open all the application in your laptop.
Yeah.
There's no difference, just the same way.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a
This
question.
is what I have.
Okay, Viv, you have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, when at the point you told her to click no, I'd already clicked yes. So should I? Is
No,
it
it
a
doesn't matter.
problem
It doesn't
to
matter.
that?
It doesn't matter. What that yes does is just put in one small database. It doesn't matter. It's just a sample database they give to new installation. It doesn't matter.
Okay, what about here? I just closed this one. I did not click on anything.
Microsoft, blah blah blah. It's good to be
We cancel.
What? You could cancel. Doesn't matter.
I think yeah, because it's my defender, so that it doesn't obstruct anything.
And then is it confirmed?
I didn't confirm.
I don't think it's gonna block anything, but let's see. If it blocks, we'll go back to it.
I'm not there yet, Stanley. I'm seeing confirm on my data. I'm seeing data share and I'm seeing confirm.
Can you share your screen?
Okay.
Is it possible?
Who wants to share?
Is Angela.
Remember, our goal today's one is to make sure that everybody can connect to the database. That is our goal. Tomorrow we'll focus on
Angela, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm not sure why. You can share. Like I'm giving you access to share.
I don't know why. Anyway, what I have on my screen is confirm.
See,
yes, you click on confirm first. You click on confirm. Yes, then you click no.
Okay. It says data share. There's a little box that says do not share data, then confirm, right?
Yes, I didn't click it. I don't know.
Okay, just to confirm.
I just confirmed. Then I clicked yes, but he said no. He said you
Okay,
should
now
Doesn't
click
is
no.
matter
it's
actually.
saying, do you
I
want to
think
create sample database?
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether yes or no is fine. Click
Okay, it's
whatever
fine.
you
Okay,
want.
okay. All right. Okay, I think I'm good.
Okay, so can we continue with the person that was sharing earlier? Sorry about that. Okay. Please confirm that every other person has gotten to where she is, where you're able to click the switch to expose more connections. So what we are doing now is connecting. We want to connect to a database. So if you read what is there, you see select your database. Basically, create a new database connection. Find your database driver in the list below, so you know what we are doing. Okay.
yeah.
So D, what's the challenge you're having?
Please hold on.
Hi. So my laptop is a bit slow. I guess I'm a little bit backward. I'm actually in exclude dbeaver and also keep dbeaver. So I don't know which one to go with before I can go to proceed.
Can someone answer that question? I'm trying to. I
Just
can't
close
remember
it.
whether it is.
Just close it.
Cancel. Okay.
Just close it. Yeah, just close it.
Then do you want to create sample database? It has yes or no.
I click
No.
no.
No. Okay.
Anu, how did you get to this where you have
Okay, are you here
you
already?
just
Are
closed?
you inside DBV?
Yes, I'm here. I'm on
Okay,
this
so
page.
under the file,
Uh-huh.
you can see like a plug, like a
Yeah.
something.
Yes.
Just click on it, yeah. Not the
Okay.
arrow down,
Yeah,
just on
I
the
have it.
icon
I have it.
itself.
I have it now. Thank you.
So everybody is here, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay, don't worry. Small. Share your own screen.
No. Okay.
Stanley, you know what? When Sandra share her screen, can you continue using her own?
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is where I've been. Saying I've refused to open.
It's opening now.
Is
It's
your
still coming up.
network? Is your network? Yeah.
No, it's not network. This is more of your computer RAM.
It's
So
there.
it's just opening the application. So if your RAM is small or your computer's RAM is not so big, it's gonna take some time. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, click no.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is it now. So click on that switch.
Switch.
Top left.
Under the file.
Here.
Yeah. So but you can close this dialog. Yeah, this is just your Windows telling you you want to. Yeah.
Okay. What else do I do?
So click on the switch. All right. So at this point, I want you to understand where you are. So this is where you choose the type of database you want to use. So for the purpose of this class, the database we are going to use is called MySQL. So you see that one written MySQL, just click it.
All right.
So click on next. So every other person be doing the same thing.
All right.
So we're going to have patience with the laptop, okay? Yes. So at this point, more like every other tool, this is where it's telling you to put your connection string, those parameters I shared on the screen. So look at your what's it called? Yeah, Zoom. You see where I put hosts. So copy that thing I put in the host and put in that place where it's called localhost.
Oh, how did you get here, please?
So how we got here was that you have to look for MySQL when you get to your dialog that has list of databases. So there's one that is written MySQL.
SQL. Okay.
Just click it, you
Click
see
on
next, then you click on next. That's basically what we've done so far.
next. Okay. Sorry, I was
iPhone said that we should share it. iPhone is not a name of a person. How will we know who is iPhone now? Please, I think it's better to rename so no communicates to you understand, please. Okay. So have you copied it?
Yes.
No, hold on.
Okay.
We are doing it. So server host is of this number that you put.
Yes, copy it.
So we have to delete the local host.
Yes, delete the local host and put that host there.
1, 3, 4, 5,
So
7, 8, 4.
Sandra, you need to change the
we can just copy and paste now, Stanley.
So where is
you
port?
can copy and paste.
Okay.
Where is port? I'm
it's already
typing
it's
because
already
I'm
saved for you
using.
3306, but if in case it's not,
No, I'm not
just
seeing any ports on my.
after server host, look at your right. You see ports.
Oh, okay.
Just beside it.
Yes, beside it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the same ports
Aya,
there.
Sandra,
Yeah.
let me be calling it for you. If copy and paste is taking time, I can call the number for you.
That's a very.
I can't even paste. I don't know why. Okay, you can call it.
So for anyone
18
that cannot, you can't copy what is there, but you can
dot
type it.
134
It's very easy to type.
And
dot 41
154.
dot 154.
And then the database.
Okay, so when you finish putting these things, we want to do what we call validation. So you go to test connection.
Please, can you hold on? I don't even have the. I'm trying to do the adventure world.
Don't worry, everybody will have this. Don't worry.
Please, could you reshare the host information because I had to
Okay, I'll reshare it. I'll
yes,
reshare it.
enter on my phone. Thank you.
Are you listening?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Um,
So click on test connection.
I didn't do. I just clicked finish.
Why are
Don't
you
worry,
so fast?
we'll go back to your own.
is the
Now, when you click on test
is the
connection,
username Wintech? Okay.
guys,
Sorry,
pay
should we
attention.
save the password?
Is it?
Should the password be saved?
Yeah, if you feel like. Yeah, please, I'll just advise you can save it, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Password
So
and
it
what's
doesn't
next?
ask you every time you open it, but it's just for 2 days. It's gonna be available just for today and tomorrow. Yeah.
Put your password Wintech, username Wintech, password Wintech. Do I go to finish?
No, see test, you can, but that's not the point, because even if you go to finish, you will still have to come back to what we are doing now. So go to
Okay.
test connection. It will give you a dialog that allows you to now download the driver. This is a one-time thing. It's not like every time you open this tool, it will do it. Just one time. So you can download the driver that is specific to that database. So
So we
just
should
click on
click
download.
on download.
Download, right?
Yeah.
So what happens to me now that I finished?
Don't worry, we'll come to you. It's not
I should
you,
click
no
on
worry.
Okay.
Yeah, just click on download
Download.
once.
access denied.
Oh boy.
So
I
what is
think-
happening now is that you are downloading the driver, yes, and it's successful. So this is an evidence that you passed the connection class. So basically, you have been able to authenticate into my server.
Oh
So
no, mine said access denied.
don't worry, we'll come to you. Just click on OK. Click OK. Now you click finish. Yeah, so you have passed this connection class. So we can go to other people that have the issue. So Sandra, you can stop sharing.
Thank you, Stanley. So we are going to the those that have issues, right?
Yes.
If you have any issue you want him to help you with, you can use the reaction button and raise
Just
your
raise your hand, then we'll call you, share your screen, then we'll move forward, okay?
Yeah.
All right, Chigozie, please go ahead.
I clicked finish. So that's
Okay.
that's
Share your
all.
screen. Let's fix the finish.
That's where I am.
Correct. So right click on Adventure Works. That your database there. Just right click. Go back. So right click on that Adventure Works. That's that dialogue. That's you know what I'm saying now. Move your cursor so I can see where you are. Go up, go up, go up.
No, up.
Okay, here.
Yes, there, yes.
Yeah.
Right click. Thank you. Go to edit connection. Okay, so test connection. Down, bottom. Yeah, exactly. So you download. So it's a one-time thing. It won't ask you to do this again. You're fine. So click OK.
And I think that applies to every other person that clicked finish before too.
Yes.
I should click OK again.
Yes.
Like me.
You are totally fine. Is there another person that have this
Thank
issue
you.
at this moment?
Anybody else?
You have to get this place. If you don't get it, you won't participate in the class. It's as
Yeah,
simple
so
as
that tomorrow you are not going to find it difficult when others are clicking. You are saying, "Hey, I'm not sure where I am."
Exactly.
This is the best time for you to, signify so that we get it sorted out. Anybody that is still having issues, have we all connected successfully? Okay, so I think, Caleb.
Caleb, go ahead. Share your screen. Okay, so Caleb, you've not even started anything. So you need to do all those things we did. Go to the plug. Click connect. So see MySQL there.
Okay.
No, MySQL. MySQL.
MySQL.
Yes. Yeah. Next. So Caleb, I need you to look at the charts and copy those things, take the host and put where host is.
Okay.
Take database. Then if you have a challenge, let us know. Please make sure you put username. Don't use root. Use those things that are in the connection. Otherwise, you will not be able to connect.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in a situation whereby some people just joined, what would they do?
So I shared, I think I shared you the document of the word.
Yeah.
They can just follow it. It's the same thing that we're doing that is outlined there.
Okay.
Erase the local host and put the numbers there.
Okay.
We can call it for you.
And what about the port? I don't see any place for the ports.
The
It's
port
there
is
already.
okay, but in case it's
It's
not
the
there,
same
just
thing,
know
yeah.
that this is where you can change it, okay?
Okay. Okay, I found it. Okay, yes.
No, click test connection.
Test connection.
Yeah.
Okay. Should I download?
Yeah, click download, okay? It's like 1 minute.
So Caleb, are you good?
Yes, I'm good.
Awesome. Nice. Any other person that has any issue? Anybody? For those that just joined, if you check the chat, you're gonna see the link. I just reshared the link. Go ahead and download. Once you finish your download, all you need to do, don't select anything, just keep on going with next until you are done. When you are done downloading, you just go to your search bar and search for the app, dbeaver. That is what you are going to search. And as soon as it opens, you're going to get to where we are at the moment. Then you click on under the file, you are going to click on the plug, and you now click on MySQL.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah.
Is everybody connected now? I want to believe so. So we are going to move ahead so we don't have so much time. So permit me to share my screen. So any other person that has issue connecting, after now, just follow the docs and you should be fine. Okay. So I'm going to share back my screen. So please follow my screen. Can everybody see my screen? So this is where we are at the moment, right? So I need you, don't worry about what you're seeing here. Just focus. This is where you are. So all you need to do is, if this is not checked, just click it. Click on this arrow, right? Or click on this one. Anywhere, just click this thing. You are going to see this drop down, right? When you see this drop down, I'm still teaching just to show you some components of database, right? Then we'll move into writing SQL. So we'll still have a bit of time. Now, when you move into this is what we call a database. A database that we have connected to. So somewhere in cloud, I've hosted what we call AdventureWorks, and you are connecting to it. You can see it. So when you open the AdventureWorks to see, so that I can appreciate what we have in AdventureWorks. So it's more like an AdventureWorks is just like a database, a test database that is online for you to practice with. So now you have what we call, these are the various tables depicting a structure of a company, right? So you can see they have an employee table, they have a person table, they have a department table, and they have the job candidates and email address of those people. Something similar. Now, the terms you will hear is, okay, what is a table? I've explained initially, these are database objects. So basically a table is, in Excel, to relate it to Excel, is more like the structure that binds one sheet in Excel can relate to one table. Do you get? Let's put it that way. So this is a composition of a table, is more a combination of where you store an object, where you store information in that table. So in a house, you have a room where you store people, that's visitors room. So one section of it is the one table. Different tables make up the database, right? So we have the department table where we store the departments of people in our office. So we have the department history where we store the changes. If they migrated, maybe employee one change in the history of him staying in our company, you move from department A to department B, either via promotion or what have you. So we track those information on department table. So we have the email address where we track the email address of our employees. We have employer table where we track basic information on our employees. We have job candidate where we track people that come for jobs. We have person table where we track the information about first name, last name, and the more information about people in our organization, whether past or present employees. Then we have person phone where we track the phone number and some other information, right? So this is I made it very light so that it will be easy to understand. So my point is you can have as many tables as possible based on the structure. Caleb, can you move? Help us move, okay? All right, so based on the structure of the company you are going with, you are going to see a whole lot of information, right? So with these two, there's what this tool allows you to do. I just want to show you. So this tool allows you to visualize the kind of relationship in your database. So you can see this is part of our training. So you can understand how the data in our database relates to each other, right? So how did I get here? I just clicked on the table. It showed me diagram. I just clicked on diagram. So you double click on table, you see diagram, then you select diagram. So it will diagramize everything you have in that particular database that you selected, so you can know the relationship, how they talk to each other. The first question you would have asked me is, why do I even need to know this relationship, right? You need to know this relationship because depending on where you are going or where you are going to find yourself to see the data, a human being can explain it to you. That's fine. But if in the event that you want to also be a bit smarter, you don't even need to wait for somebody to explain. You can visualize it yourself so you can understand relationship. What is relationship? Like I explained in the earlier time, how your data talk to each other. Let's look at it. So in this our database, we understand this is a company, right? So we know that in the department table, this will basically house the departments in our, so we have the department name, the group name, and the dates we change anything in this our department table to draw for audits, right? Now history, like I mentioned, is if someone changed department, we track it, used to know all those things. And then the employee has some information about the marital status, gender, blah, blah, blah for employees. All these things, we store them, right? Now, we also have everything. Now, there is what we call a unique identifier. Think about it in a nutshell as somebody that comes into your organization, or every record, every entity that comes into the database by design. I'm not saying you should be the one to design it. By design of the organization, should have what we call a uniqueness. Well, without going deep, we have what we call primary key, but no, don't worry. Just know we have a unique identifier. So for your organization, you think of it as a way of maybe somebody signed up in your organization and you give the person ID 1, the first employer, for example. Second employer, ID 2, ID 3, or whatever you choose, the name of whatever you want to choose. So in this our own, we have what we call business identity ID. So that is our unique identifier that we use to know everybody in this our organization. So if I know that your business identity ID is 1, I know that, oh, this business identity 1 is John, right? And John, if I want to get information for John in department to know where John belongs to, I'll be looking for John with a business identity 1 here, and I will know the department that links to John. Do you understand? So if I want to know the department ID, John, sorry, this department history, if I want to see his department ID, with this relationship here, I know that, okay, there is a relationship that links business identity to business identity, and there is a department ID that links department ID to department ID. Don't worry, it's too complex. I'll explain it later when we start dealing with data. Just let's look at one-to-one mapping first. So for employee to person, for example, I'm coming down. Let's look at this one-to-one, which is very straightforward. So you know that these are employee. This my employee has this different data that I've stored for him based on when they came in. Are we following? I store this various information when the person came in as an employee. Now I assigned an ID for him, employee ID 1, for example. If I go to another person table that might have another information for that employee, maybe I didn't store his first name, last name, and whatever based on the structure I'm maintaining. I store those things in a place called the person table, right? I have all those things here. But if I don't have a way to link these two, I will forever not understand who. It will be useless data that we house in 2 tables that there is no relationship. It doesn't make sense. It will no longer be, it's just data, it won't be information. So, but with this link, I clearly know that there is a business ID in person that relates to the business ID in employee. This simply means that if I know that this ID1 is here, if I want to see more information for this ID1, I go and look for ID1 here, and I also see more information for it. You can write this with SQL, but we'll do that one tomorrow. This is simple way of understanding it in a layman way without writing the code. This is simple explanation. I want to get the phone number that is tied to this my employee. I know if I want to get the phone number tied to employee 1, I go and look for ID1 in phone number, and I will see it. I know it's for this person. Now, if you go and look for ID1 for ID2, now you cause problem. It means that you are intentionally going to give wrong information to your management. The thing about SQL that makes it so sweet and appealing for everybody is that it's like English. For me, it's easier than Excel, way easier than Excel. Excel is more advanced than SQL, if you ask me, based on what the part of SQL you are using. Of course, they are advanced SQL, but for the parts we are using, it is so easy that it's way more easier than Excel. Trust me. In this SQL, it is exactly, see, whatever you say is, however you are saying it is how you are writing it. They didn't make it to be complex. They make it to be in English. So if you understand English, you will be able to understand SQL. If I want to get data inside the table of, let's say, inside the table of, let's use, I want to know all the departments I have in my organization, right? I want to see the things inside department table. What do I do? So to open a dialog where you write query, what you need to do is watch me, please. So there are two ways, there are many ways to do it, but the easiest, there are many ways you can use a shortcut, which I normally use, but you don't need to bother about shortcuts. Another way to do it is just when you come here on the database or you see this SQL, just select this database and go to this SQL here, and then click new scripts. It opens. Another way you can do it is you right click on this SQL, that place you right click. When you click on this database, you right click. You will see SQL editor. Are you seeing it? And you go to new scripts. It opens a dialog box for you. Are you seeing it? Now, when it opens a dialog box, you will be able to write your queries. This is more like a panel where you can type. Where I can type that English that we are speaking. So I want to get things in department table. I say I want to select everything in department table. It's just the same way I say it. I just write it. So in SQL, like I remember telling you, you have to start with select most 98% of the time. So you say select everything. In SQL language, you don't write everything, but that everything is represented by something we call star. So in your number 8, that star on top of your number 8. So press shift and click it. So you get star. So star in SQL language means everything, all, right? So I want to get everything from department so I can understand what is in department or the departments that are in my organization. So you say select everything from departments. So it's going to even help you to know for you to complete it for you. So whether there is D at the end, it's just an alias. So let's not go too far. So this is department, right? So you select everything inside department. Now to run this, there is an arrow here. Are you seeing this arrow? There are 3 arrows, but please use just this one. I will explain this one tomorrow. Just use this one for now. Or you just select everything here, then run. But even if it's the only thing on the dialog box or this gray icon is on that place, for these two, you don't need to select everything, but you can if you want. So it's always good to select. So, but when you start going further, you don't need to start selecting. So where it is, you just click on this place. So it will show you the information. Basically, those things in your Excel or those things, those data. This is the real data and data itself. So you can see we have department 1 with a department name of engineering, group name, research and development, sales and marketing group, marketing, sales and marketing, human resources. So basically, these are our departments. Likewise, you want to see things inside So what I did was, before, you just click enter to move down. If you want to still keep writing, just press enter, it keeps moving down, right? So you want to see things inside. Which other table do we want to see? Want to see things inside, let's say, employee. So we can see the information we have for employee. You say select all from employee. Are you seeing this? So you can highlight it, or like I said, if you hold it, as far as the gray is selected on it, you just run this one, right? So this will give you all the data we have for this employee. So I think we have around 500 or so data. So if you want to count it, you just click here, okay, 450 data. So we have 450 unique employees. V, I'm coming now. Just give me like 5 more minutes, okay? Then I'll use the other 5 minutes to answer your question. So these are the different unique employees we have in this our application, this our database, right? You can see clearly how they are denoted by the unique identifier. So employee 1 belongs to this, he has this job title. He was born here, right? He's a male. He was hired in this date. It was just basic information. So this is vacation hours, blah, 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 basic information you collected. So let's move to person table. So let's say we want to see information about the name and basic various things about this employee. So I'm in person table, select off from person. Yeah, that's person. So I'm going to click this one. So you can see clearly that we are seeing the information about this person. So you can see we have the ID. This is our employee 1. His name is John Doe, right? And this is his initial. This is basically some basic information we have about him. So with all this information, we are going to use it to build a lot of things tomorrow. You can see us use it to select some information and play around with the data. So I'm going to take questions now to know if anybody has any challenge with just running at least a select statement.
All right. So if you have any question, please use the reaction button so that Stanley can assist. All right. So
okay, let's go from top down. So
sure.
Anno, go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
I raised my hand up earlier.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I kind of got distracted. How did you open this worksheet or the project?
Okay, so you can see Adventure Works here, but
yes.
Now right click.
Okay.
You see SQL editor. Go to new scripts.
Thank you.
So because they're new, you will open a dialog box that is empty. So you can now type those things that I have there.
Thank you.
Now let's go to Chigozie. Chigozie.
Okay. When you are clicking, when we are setting out the query, after you put the name of the table that you wanted more information on, there was a list that came down like a drop down. I don't know how you got that.
Okay, so let's try it. So when I was typing this, right, it's
Yes.
come out like this.
Yes.
Thank you. So by default, whenever you are typing, your computer will predict. It's just a feature they're built in with IDEs to help you make your work faster. So it will also happen on your own. Just look closely on your screen. When you are typing the department, it will pop up something that looks like this to tell you, okay, just how do they call it? Autocomplete. Like, are you?
Yeah, no, okay. So it's the name that you put there, the choice of the table that will predict and trigger the drop down.
You sabi, exactly. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
So you use it, and then that D on the back doesn't mean it won't run with it, but I don't want you to start asking me this question today. We'll talk about it tomorrow. So it's called an alias. It's still run with it or without it, okay? So this is just it. I'll explain that tomorrow. Okay, let's move to Keisha.
Okay, so I have a question. Is there a reason you left spaces after you type like the select? So like department and stuff like that.
Good question. Now, if you write this like this, it will run as far as it's like this, but it doesn't, for visualization, it doesn't look good. But if you go and write everything like this together, see, come on, it doesn't even look good. This will not run because this now becomes a word. You are saying select all it doesn't understand what this is. If you run it, it's going to throw. It wouldn't understand what you're saying. So it tell you like you're missing a from statement because it doesn't understand what you're saying. So just for you to write, it's better to always give a space after each one, right? So this means that you are selecting, you give a space, place. Then when you want to write a new query that is different, you finish this transaction, right? You don't want to try something else. You give a space just for, it doesn't mean that if you come here, that it will not run. If you come here like this, it means you have to select this together and run this, right? So why do that? Just give a space to make your work neat, okay? So you give a space, you just put here and run, just to make your work neat, okay?
Thank you.
All right, Sandra, it's your turn. We have 4 minutes. Sandra.
So I have a question. My screen is not numbered. Like this select from department is on line 1. Select from employer is on line 3.
Click on here, right? Right click when you see, follow me. Look at this this select. Just move your cursor one line, right? Click right click. You will see show lines. Select it. It will start showing. Okay.
Okay, hold on. I'm not done. That's not all of my question.
I'm trying to catch other people, but go ahead.
Okay, then the other question I have is, I don't know if I made a mistake. I can see that you're under projects, like I think you're doing all these under projects, whereas I'm under database navigator.
No, if for any
This
reason you
thick
are here.
line here,
If you are here for any reason, it means it's gonna, but it doesn't mean it will expose you to every other connection you have on your system. But just stay on the project to give you that particular project that you want to.
I don't know how to stay on the project. I'm just realizing
Just
now
click
that
on projects.
if I click on project, everything I've done, nothing is showing.
So if you click on project, you see general. Just go to that general. You'll see this. You see this within it. Okay.
Sandra, you are good. Let's move over to another person.
So I'm trying to when I type select, I'm not getting by default. There's a little window that I should get by default where I pick up the departments, right? You got it, but I didn't get that when I did mine.
I'm trying to follow you when you type select.
Yes, you know when you.
So what we are going to do, I want everybody here to, because we will not have time to answer everybody, right? So I want everybody here to note the questions you have, right? When we come tomorrow, we are going to start with answering some of those questions that relate to writing SQL, not installation, please. If you have installation question, you have to follow the guide. But if it relates to this writing of SQL, I promise you it will be answered, okay?
Just type another command. I'm also there.
Exactly. So you want to type this, anything once, just
select. What's that? What's that? What's that?
From. F-R-O.
No. Before from.
They mean before the from.
Star. I explained it like the one on top of it, star.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It means
because I was typing all and it was giving me error. Thanks.
Okay, I think
so
I've not finished though, but you have 1 minute left. When I type select, I'm also getting 2 different windows. One is saying reserve word of the query language. I don't know why that is happening. Reserved word of the query language. See, I tried to type select, and then the 2 windows pop up, one white, and then the other one is yellow. It says reserved word of the query language.
Okay, so you're going to be the last one we're taking. Can you share your screen? So let's solve your issue and then we can go. Okay?
I can
You're
share.
still not able to share.
Yeah.
Maybe it's from your system,
I think so. There's something I need to do. I think
share back
on my end.
But see whether you can guide me to it. You mean when you type select?
Yes, when you type select, as I'm typing select, a little window just pops up. 2 windows. You see where that number is, where number 1 is. So I'm trying to type select.
So it might just be a prediction. Just go ahead and type what I typed here.
Yeah, it's a it's actually a prediction, but it's not giving me. I don't know where you can.
Can you Angela, can you try typing select, then you have a space and put shift 8 to get the start. Just finish everything and see what comes out.
Exactly. Those things are just maybe your predictions.
Select.
Select, then space. You click on shift 8 space from space department.
Okay.
Then you go and run it by clicking on that arrow on the left-hand side.
Got you. Yes. So I have the department.
Did it work?
Yeah, department icon and then department history. Oh yeah. I can just yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so when we come tomorrow, let me share back this.
Wendy, you're going to be teaching me SQL advanced soon.
Don't go tomorrow. We are going to do a deep dive into more things about selects. That we are looking at how to do some magic with SQL. So you can see all those things you are doing in your what's it called? In your Excel, getting duplicates, finding more information, anything you can think of. We'll do it, okay? We'll play around with data tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed today's class.
Yeah, that has been awesome, Stanley. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you. We really appreciate you for all you do, how you were just patient with everyone, answering all the questions, making sure that people are following. Thank you so much. Guys, please, if you are here, please, if you are presently in, please can you give a round of applause to Stanley for doing justice. I know it's not easy. Some people might not be able to get to this point, but believe me, if you go back to the recording, you will be able to get everything that you missed. And again, remember, tomorrow, if you have any question, Stanley will just simply go through that a little bit before we start for tomorrow. But be sure, if you are having any installation issue, make sure you get that knocked off today, because tomorrow he's not going to go back to installation. And if you are looking for how you can install, you can connect with me and I will guide you through on how you can do the installation before that tomorrow. Okay? Thank you everyone for staying till the end. Remember, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We are not going to waste too much time. We want everyone to join as soon as it's 6 p.m. Okay? And before we close for today, can I hear from the chat, like how impactful has today's workshop been to you? Like, what did you learn? Did you learn one or two things? Please, I want to see in the chat. If you have learned one or two things, drop in the chat. We want to see. And even if you did not learn anything, of course, it's not a bad thing. If you didn't learn anything, let us know. We want to know how exactly has been this section been today for you. Okay? I want to see that. Yeah, I see clapping hands. Thank you.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, 1 second, please, Olu. I will come back to you.
All
right. I see AZ said a great refresher. Awesome. Nice one. Chigozie says Stanley has demystified SQL a bit for me. Of course. Thank you. Adama said learned about DBeaver. Awesome. Yeah, too. Angela, very informative. iPhone. I'm not sure who is iPhone. Learned something. Good one. And Zainab said IDE and 2 clarifications. Thank you. Awesome. Kesha said, for someone who doesn't know anything about SQL, I can boldly say I know something now. Of course, yeah, you mustn't know everything, right? Once you know. And again, there is something that they're having discussion in the office, or maybe you are discussing with your friends. You mustn't be a guru, right? But having an idea or understanding of what SQL is all about, what you can use it to do, that is amazing, right? D say very impactful. I used to think SQL was going to be like a Gothish, but it's basically English, like he said. Of course, yeah. I see a lot of things coming up. Thank you so much, guys. It has been an amazing one. And believe me, tomorrow is going to be fantastic. You don't want to miss tomorrow. So tomorrow, please, as soon as it's 6 p.m. Eastern Time, do well to join back, and we are going to finalize. And for those that are joining us for the very first time, you are not part of Wintech. You've not joined Wintech community. And if you want to be part of us, you can click on the link you will see on the chat. Once you click on that, it takes you straight, fill up the form, and the team member will add you into the group, right? Remember, everything we do on Wintech is all about equipping each other, right? Helping one another, both on mentorship and so many workshops, webinars, and so many things that you can think of. So if you are that lady and you want to like be part of this community, please go ahead and click on the link that you are going to see on the screen and fill the form. Then you will become a member, right? And don't forget, everything we do here is absolutely free. We are not charging you for anything, right? But we want you to be a better version of yourself, especially in your career, right? Just give me a quick moment. We are going to be sharing the link right away. I'm not sure if any of the team members have shared that already, but I will share that as well. One quick moment, okay? So go ahead and click, sorry, one second. Go ahead and click on the link that you see on the chat, and it takes you straight to the form. And again, remember, we are on social media platform. We are on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Please go ahead, connect with us, because there are so many great information that we do share in those platforms. Those are places that you can see. When we have some sections coming up, you will be able to join and get more information around it. So I'm sharing the LinkedIn page. Please go ahead and connect with us on LinkedIn. We want to hear from you. We want to have you join us, okay? Can I hear someone? I think I need to hear someone talk, even if it's just for a second, right? So who want to unmute herself? Whether you want to unmute yourself, if you're a guy or a lady, please go ahead. Unmute yourself. I want to hear you talk. Anybody that wants to go, please use the reaction button. Angela, you want to go?
Yes.
Please go ahead. The floor is yours. Thank you.
So I'm so glad I am a part of this. Before now, I used to have fears. SQL, structured query language, used to be such a big thing in my, when I hear it, and it used to really scare me. But the way Stanley started off was just so easy, even from the installation process and all that, it was so easy. So that kind of, reduced the fears that I've been having regarding SQL, so I'm so looking forward to tomorrow's session. I can't wait to, to also connect.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Angela. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. And again, of course, it's always good when you have this great opportunity, you utilize it, right? And I'm happy that you learned something today. When people hear SQL, honestly, even myself, before, if I hear SQL, I'll be thinking it's one Janjatic something, but again, it doesn't hurt, right? And I love the fact that we are able to connect and learn from one another as well. Yeah, thank you so much, Angela, for sharing. Any other person that want to say one or two things? Anybody? If you want, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
I want to thank you, Wendy, for organizing this, and Stanley for making it look like we are writing 1, 2, 3, 4.
I know.
In fact, it's really an interesting class, and being that is hands on deck, not just theory, really made it very easy for us. Thank you so much. We can't wait for tomorrow. We are waiting.
Awesome. Good to hear that. I love the fact when you said it looks like you're writing 1, 2, 3. Of course, that is just how it looks, honestly speaking. And yeah, I appreciate also your collaboration and also your support, eager to learn. That is the most important thing. All right, see everyone tomorrow. We will catch up tomorrow. Thank you so much, everyone, and do have yourself a wonderful evening. All right?
All right. Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
She dreams. She dares. She does. She is a big thinker with a drive for excellence. She wants it. She goes for it. She's not ready to negotiate her future. She is prepared to own her spot, to live her dreams today, to liberate herself from stereotypes and imposter syndrome. She is the woman who has identified her path, purpose, vision, and is willing to make her mark wherever she turns. She is me. She is you. She's all of us who are willing to tear down barriers and become triumphant at home and work. Together, we will confront our wars, win our battles, and soar. This is our enclave, Wintech, creating a safe space for women to network, learn, support one another, access opportunities, thrive, and succeed.